Welcome back to Aeons, and we are playing against the Blight Lord, who has 70 health, and he's got this nasty Creeping Viridian card out right now, power card. And this is going to be round 2. We have Double X, Xasos, or however you say his name, with 10 health, and we have Algamore with only 8 health. And so let's begin. We're going to shuffle the turn order deck, and we're going to draw our first player. See who it's going to be. The Nemesis player 1 or player 2 as it drops to the floor. So that's going to be the card that we're going to use. And I don't even see what it is. All right. And the first player is going to be, well, it's going to be player 1, Double X. So let's go over to Double X play area right here and let them take their first turn. All right, Double X. In hand, we have the Void Bond spell. Cast, deal 3 damage. You may cast any player's prep spell, and he has 4 sparks to generate 4 ether. Alright, but we have to cast spells from breaches first if we want. If it's an open breach, you don't have to cast a spell, but we are going to cast a spark spell, doing 1 point of damage. We are going to do that damage to, of course, the Blight Lord. So first blood, he's going to go down, excuse me, to 69 health. Alright, nailed him for 1. We do that 69 more times, win the game. Alright, and now we get to play cards. Well, pretty simply, we're going to put the Void Bond spell into open breach 1 and 4 ether to spend. And I think with 4 ether, this time we are going to get our first relic. As the cards stick together, we're going to get the Vim Dynamo for Double X. Suffer damage. Any player draws 2 cards, or you can destroy this card, and any player gains 2 life and a charge. As I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. Alright, and that will be the spending of the 4 ether. That's the end of the turn. We're going to drop 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Double X. So his next hand is going to be Crystal, 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 Amplify Vision, and Flare. Alright, that's what we have. So that's the end of player 1's turn. Let's go back to the turn order deck and see who's going to go next. Alright, up next in the turn order, who is it going to be? Player 2. Alright, well, our players get to go, so that's good. So we're going to go over to Algamore. Alright, Algamore gets to go. First thing he's going to do, he's going to cast his 2 spark spells. So that's going to be 2 damage that he deals out. Again, the 2 damage are going to go on to the Blight Lord, taking him down from 69 health down to 67. Alright, we're whittling him down very slowly. And now it's time to play cards. He has 2 spark spells, so he will just prep the 2 spark spells to his 2 open breaches. Now he has Coal Shard, and a crystal and a crystal. So he's going to end up getting, if you have 2 life or less, well, we have 8 life, destroy this. So we're not going to. Otherwise, gain 3 ether, gain a charge, and suffer 2 damage. So he's going to get 3 ether, he's going to get a charge, going to go from 8 health down to 6. So that's not great. And he also gets 2 more ether. So he has a total of 5 ether. And with 5 ether, he is going to... Thought I had a plan for him. Yeah, I think the plan for him is to get a Haunting Burlite for 3. So gain 2 ether or discard a card in hand if you do gain 2 charges. Because he's going to need to heal as much as possible. So he's going to get that. That is going to be the card he purchases. That costs 3. He has 2 left over. And with the 2 left over, he's going to give himself another charge. So now he's halfway to being able to using his special power. He will be discarding his cards in any order. I'm going to discard them this way. Okay. And that will be where we sit. And he's going to drop his 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he draws 4 cards, flips the deck over, and we'll draw 5 cards. Alright, so the 5 cards, he has Crystal, 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 Haunted Burlite, and a Spark. That will be his hand for his next turn. Alright, things, I think, going okay so far, he said. Alright, back to the turn order deck. See who's going next. All right, turn order deck. Pretty likely to be the Nemesis. Oh, it is a Nemesis. All right, the Nemesis gets to go. So what do we do with our Creeping Viridian card? One of the power charges comes off it. There's 3 on here. It is now sitting with 2 charges. If it goes to 0 charges, it's going to trigger, and something unpleasant is going to happen to us. Basically, it says any player gains one of the Tainted Jade cards and places it in her hand, and then you advance the Tainted track. Remember, if this Tainted track gets down to here, the players lose. All right, that was dealing with any cards for the Blight Lord. Now we have to draw a Nemesis card as part of his turn, and it's nix an attack. Unleash! No! All right, unleash. Any player gains a Tainted Jade. Any player, eh? Why don't we have Algamore gain a Tainted Jade card? And gaining it is going to go into the discard pile, so away it goes. So that was unleash. That's nasty. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards their most expensive card in hand. Holy man. All right, let's see what we have for Double X. His most expensive card is his Amplified Vision. Don't really want to dump that out. Let's look at Algamore. Algamore, his most expensive card is his Haunted Barrelite. And I think we're going to go ahead and Algamore is going to suffer, I think he suffered 1 damage, and he's going to discard his Haunted Barrelite. Darn it, so he's going to go from 6 health down to 5, and he had to discard that card from his hand. That sucks pretty heavily, but that's a pretty nasty little card from the Nemesis. So that was what the Nemesis did. I'm going to discard that card. Nemesis turn is over. We're going to come back. We're going to flip over the next card. Turn order deck and see who goes next. All right, seeing who's going next. Flipping over the card, we get, oh man, the Nemesis goes again. All right, now we're going to take 1 charge off of this. We're down to a single charge. Now remember, we have to, if we can generate 7 ether on one player's turn, we can get rid of the Creeping Viridian. Don't really see it happening, but it's the way it is. All right, and now we have to draw a Nemesis card, of course. Oh man, these are bad news. All right, Vitrify. It's an attack. The players collectively gain 2 Tainted Jades and place them into their hands. Ay, ay, ay. That is, wow, that sucks. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, and I should be, as I keep forgetting, counting the number of cards left in the Tainted card stack. So now we're down to actually to 3, because at the beginning of each Nemesis turn, count the number of Tainted Gems. If there's 1 left, something happens. If there's 0 left, something happens. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but we still have lots. So they have to collectively take these and put them in hand. Oh man, so I think we're going to give one of them to Zassos, and man, I guess the other one we may as well give it to Algamore. Wow, these things are brutal. This Blight Lord may crush us in this game. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. Knew it was going to be tough. I thought Carapace Queen was going to be tough. I think this guy is much nastier. So that was an attack. That's the end of the Nemesis turn. And so we're going to come back and we're going to see who goes next. Either going to be player 1 or player 2. All right. Next up, turn order is player 1. Double X. All right, let's go to his play area, and we're going to play his turn. All right. Santos is going to be casting a spell, and this spell says deal 3 damage. You may cast any player's prepped spell. Well, there's not much point in doing that, but we are going to be dealing 3 damage by casting the Void Bond. Excuse me, my voice is really losing it today. Must be allergies. All right, and we're going to take 3 damage off that, 67 down to 64. All right, we're beating down the Blight Lord. A little bit, anyway. All right, and now it's time to play cards, and this is where things get sucky because now we have the Tainted Jade. We can gain 2 Ether from it, suffer 1 damage, so it's not completely useless. So I could actually have 2, 3, 4, I could have 5 ether, but 5 ether doesn't do much except open my second breach. Oh man, so I think I am going to, I could, or I could spend 2 ether to destroy this card. It goes back into the pile. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend the 2 ether from my hand for my 2 crystals, and we're going to destroy the Tainted Crystal. It's going to go back to the supply, so that's going to take it back up to 4 cards in the deck. But that really weakened my hand a lot, because I only have 1 crystal left. That's just going to be 1 ether. Wow, that sucks. So I can either use Flare, or put Flare into Open Breach 1, or I can put Amplify Vision. I think I'm going to put Amplify Vision into Open Breach 1, because I want to start using that to focus my breaches. This, of course, is going to stay in my hand, because I didn't play it. Discard my cards in the order, of course, will be, has to go in that order, because they're all the same card. And we're going to drop 5 cards for a new hand. Remember, we already have 1 card, so 1, 2 cards, and we're going to draw 3 more cards. Of course, they're going to come from the flipped over deck. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so my hand, Santos' hand for next turn is going to be a Spark, Vim Dynamo, 1 crystal, 2 crystals, and the Flare. Alright, that is what it is. That's going to be the end of Santos' turn. Double X. Over now, we go back to turn order cards, and it, of course, will be player 2. Alright, turn order card. Yes, we know it's player 2 because that's the only card left in the 6-card deck. Alright, with that looked at, we're going to go now over to Algamore. Alright, Algamore has 2 spark spells. What's he going to do with his 2 spark spells? Of course, he's going to fire both of them off right into the face of the Blight Lord. Alright. That will now smack the Blight Lord from 64 health down to 62. Remember, we get this guy to 0. We win the game. And now it is time for Algamore to play cards. And unfortunately, he also has this stupid Tainted Jade in hand. And so the unfortunate thing is I think he's going to spend 2 ether, just like Double X did, to destroy this card. If you destroy this card... if you destroy this card in any other way, you suffer a damage. But we're spending 2 ether to destroy it, so it just goes back to the source over there. That, of course, leaves him with very little. Of course, you can spend your crystals. He's going to trap the Spark to Open Breach 1, and that'll be the end of his turn. Wow, so he's going to discard his cards. Excuse me, it's the allergies of spring. I love it. 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. For his next hand, he has Crystal, the Coal Shard, Haunted Barrelite. Ooh, does he have... He has 3, 4, 5... Excuse me, he has a total of 7 ether. If he gets to go first, before the Blight Lord, in our next episode, he can get rid of the Creeping Viridian. However, if he doesn't go first, well, guess what? Then the Creeping Viridian is going to trigger. Alright, we're going to zoom out. That's the end of basically our second round. So we'll take a look at where we are and wrap it up. Alright, so that's going to wrap up our episode for today. We have the Blight Lord now down to 62 health. We only have 1 charge left on the Creeping Viridian. That's nasty. Basically what's going to happen is any player gets a Tainted Jade and places in their hand, and then you advance the Tainted track, which is not good. Alright, so I'm going to shuffle these up again. Just give them a little shuffle here. Of course, I'll shuffle at the beginning of the next episode, so you know that I'm not messing with the turn order. Alright, that's enough shuffling for now, because I'll shuffle it again. Okay, so we're sitting with Double X at 10 health, no charges on his board. Algamore down to 5 health, but he has 3 charges. And, yeah, I don't know. This Blight Lord can turn into a big pain. Those Tainted Jade crystals are really, really annoying. So thanks so much for watching along. This is Aeons, and with everything thrown in to the mixed and randomly chosen for playthrough, we're playing against the Blight Lord. Double X and Algamore. So thanks so much for your comments, your subscriptions, and likes. Really appreciate it. Join me next time for the continuation of Aeon's End against the Blight Lord.